We learned in earlier chapters that a missing or extra chromosome can result in seriously impaired phenotypes and can even be lethal. How is it that females have an extra X chromosome compared to males without any difference in the expression of the X-linked genes? Turns out that only one X chromosome is active. The other, the Barr body, is inactive. It seems that at some point during fetal development, one X chromosome in each cell is deactivated. Whether the X chromosome came from the mother or the father seems to be random for every cell. The descendants of these cells have the same inactive X chromosome as their parent cells. The most obvious manifestation of this can be seen in cats with calico or tortoiseshell coat color as shown here. The gene that codes for the orange and black coat coloring are on the X chromosome. If there's an orange and black allele present, calico cats. The white coat color is due to a separate gene on another chromosome. Could male cats have calico coloring? So Barr bodies are the inactive X in females, which appears as a tightly condensed structure in the nucleus. One X is randomly inactivated during embryonic development. Females are mosaics of maternal X cells and paternal X cells. Like calico cats, women have patches of sweat glands on their skin if they are heterozygous for properly formed sweat glands. The active X with a normal sweat gland allele will produce a patch of normal sweat glands. If the normal allele is on the inactive X, leaving the abnormal allele on the active X, no sweat glands are produced in that area, a condition called anhydrotic dysphagia. Human pedigrees. A pedigree is a type of flowchart that uses symbols to show the patterns of relationships and traits in a family over many generations. This is identical to the symbols available to you in the datasheet accompanying your final exam. Polydactyly, having extra fingers and toes, is an autosomal dominant trait. So is Huntington's disease, a lethal disorder in which the brain deteriorates. Marfan Syndrome is an autosomal dominant condition that affects the connective tissues, causing problems with the skeletal system, cardiovascular problems, and more. Its frequency when found in a population is not rare and affects men and women equally. Pku, or Phenylketonuria, is an autosomal recessive disorder characterized by an improperly developing nervous system in newborns. If not treated early, severe mental incapacity can result after a few months. Newborns are usually routinely tested for PKU. Cystic fibrosis is another autosomal recessive condition resulting in an abnormal buildup of mucus in the lungs and digestive system. It affects 1 in 2,500 Canadian children, making it the most common lethal genetic condition affecting young Canadians. 1 in 25 adult Canadians carry the recessive allele. A pedigree showing an autosomal recessive trait indicates the fairly rare nature of the disease, as well as affecting males and females with the same frequency. Haemophilia is an X-linked recessive trait as characterized by its prevalence among males. The European royal families were rife with this typically rare condition that involves an inability to properly clot blood. There are some practice problems on page 615 of your textbook. These are the key terms that are covered during this chapter.